The United States just assembled the largest naval armada in South American history, not to fight a war, but to blockade one country. Venezuela is completely surrounded. Dozens of warships, fighter jets, drones, the largest military operation in Latin America in decades. The official story is fighting drugs and terrorism, but here's what they are not telling you. This is about oil, power, and geopolitics. Welcome to the crisis at sea that nobody is explaining properly. Why the US deployed overwhelming military force against Venezuela right now. This channel explains what headlines do not. If you understand what is breaking beneath the surface, subscribe because this connects to everything. Here is what actually happened. On December 17, 2025, President Trump announced a total and complete blockade of all oil tankers entering or leaving Venezuela. Trump declared Venezuela a foreign terrorist organization, claimed they stole American oil and land, accused them of financing drug trafficking. Venezuela is completely surrounded, Trump said, the largest armada ever assembled in South American history, unprecedented military pressure on a sovereign nation. But the blockade did not start in December, it started months earlier in September, with something far more shocking, airstrikes and killings. Since September 2025, the U.S. military has killed at least 104 people in the Caribbean Sea, destroyed 29 vessels with airstrikes, no trials, no evidence. The official justification is combating drug traffickers and narco-terrorists, but no evidence has ever been presented, no drugs shown, no proof offered. The first attack happened September 2nd. U.S. Navy struck and sank a speedboat from Venezuela, killed all 11 people on board. Trump released the video. Trump claimed the boat was loaded with drugs operated by trendy Aragua gang members, but provided no evidence, just allegations and a kill video. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed the strategy. Instead of interdicting vessels, we blow them up, and it will happen again, he said publicly. Since then, 28 more airstrikes, 104 people dead. The U.S. treating alleged drug traffickers as enemy combatants to be killed without trial or evidence. International law experts are clear. These are extrajudicial killings, violations of fundamental principles of international law, illegal executions at sea. Professor Mary Ellen O'Connell said the strikes violated international law. Luke Moffat called it extrajudicial killing. Jeffrey Korn said no legitimate legal basis exists. Countries are not supposed to interfere with ships in international waters except in cases of self-defense or hot pursuit. The U.S. is doing neither. Colombia and Venezuela accused the U.S. of murder. Colombia's president called for criminal prosecution of Trump at the United Nations. Latin America is outraged. But the killings continued, expanding from Caribbean to Eastern Pacific. At least 11 vessels struck in Caribbean, 18 in Pacific, death toll rising. Now the blockade, the U.S. military deployed overwhelming force to the Caribbean. Here is what is actually surrounding Venezuela right now at this moment. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the largest and most advanced aircraft carrier in the world, with full strike group positioned off Venezuelan coast. Amphibious assault ships, USS Iwo Jima, USS San Antonio, USS Fort Lauderdale, carrying 4,500 sailors and Marines, ready for potential land operations. Guided missile destroyers, USS Winston Churchill, USS Bainbridge, USS Mayhem, USS Gravely, USS Stockdale, all with advanced weapon systems deployed in Caribbean. Cruisers USS Lake Erie and USS Gettysburg, providing air defense and strike capabilities. Total naval personnel exceeds 4,000 sailors and Marines. Between 30 and 50 U.S. military aircraft operating in the region, F-35A stealth fighters, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, overwhelming air superiority. P-8A Poseidons and MQ-4C Triton drones conducting 24/7 maritime surveillance. Nothing moves in Caribbean waters without U.S. military knowing about it. AC-130J Ghost Rider gunships providing precision strike capability. 6 KC-135 and KC-46A refueling tankers sustaining continuous air operations around Venezuela. And TPS-80 ground radar deployed in Trinidad and Tobago, expanding detection coverage. The entire region is under total U.S. military surveillance and control. Analysts describe this as preparation for tactical air combat operations over hostile territory, electronic warfare for penetrating air defenses, deep strike capability. This is not anti-drug patrol. This is full military blockade and potential invasion preparation. The assets deployed match regime change operations, not drug interdiction. So why now? Why this overwhelming force against Venezuela? The official story is drugs, but the numbers do not support that claim at all. Trump claimed 300,000 Americans died from drug overdoses last year. That number is completely false. Actual deaths were about 80,000, according to CDC. Drug deaths in the U.S. fell 25% in 2024 compared to previous year. The drug crisis is improving, not worsening. Trump inflated the number massively. Claims that Venezuela is major source of drugs to U.S. fall apart under examination. Most cocaine comes through Mexico, not Venezuela. The justification is false. Former Attorney General William Barr accused Maduro of facilitating 250 tons of cocaine annually, but provided no evidence. Allegations without proof repeated for years. So if not drugs, what is this really about? Follow the resources, follow the geopolitics, follow the oil. That is where the truth is. Venezuela has the largest proven crude oil reserves in the world, 303 billion barrels. Larger than Saudi Arabia, larger than anyone, the biggest prize. Oil makes up 90% of Venezuela's export revenues. The entire economy depends on oil exports. Cutting oil exports destroys the Venezuelan government completely. Venezuela exported 655,000 barrels per day in 2024. And here is the critical part: 68% of Venezuelan oil goes to one country, China. China depends on cheap Venezuelan oil for its economy. The U.S. blockade is not just strangling Venezuela. It is cutting oil supplies to China. This is economic warfare against China disguised as anti-drug operation, cutting Beijing's access to cheap oil while claiming to fight narcotics, geopolitical strategy. The oil is transported by what is called the dark fleet or shadow fleet, over 1,900 tankers operating globally to evade sanctions and transport oil. These ships turn off tracking systems, change flags constantly, hide ownership through shell companies, conduct ship-to-ship transfers at sea, completely off the books. More than 920 of these vessels are sanctioned by US, EU, or UK. They transport oil for Venezuela, but also for Russia and Iran. Interconnected network. The same ships that carry Venezuelan oil also carry Iranian oil and Russian oil. This is a global sanctions evasion network serving all three countries. As of last week, 30 of the 80 ships in Venezuelan waters were under U.S. sanctions. The blockade targets these shadow fleet vessels specifically. On December 11th, the U.S. military seized the oil tanker Skipper off the Venezuelan coast. Since then, Venezuelan crude exports have fallen sharply. Only tankers chartered by Chevron, which has U.S. government authorization to operate in Venezuela, have left Venezuelan ports since the seizure happened. The blockade is working. Venezuela's main source of income is being cut off. The economic strangulation is happening in real time right now. But there is another player in this story, Russia. The connection between Venezuela and Russia is critical to understanding what is happening. Russia is now supplying Venezuela with diluent and naphtha needed to refine heavy crude after U.S. stopped shipments. Venezuela imported 3 times more Russian naphtha in 2025. Russian dark fleet tanker Seahorse arrived at Venezuela in November after its route was disrupted by USS Stockdale while sailing from Cuba. The shadow fleet serves Venezuela, Russia, and Iran. The U.S. is trying to disrupt the entire network, hitting all 3 adversaries simultaneously. This connects to the war in Ukraine. Russia depends on oil revenues to fund the war. The dark fleet allows Russia to evade sanctions and sell oil. U.S. senators introduced the DROP Act to sanction foreign buyers of Russian petroleum, closing loopholes. The Venezuela blockade is part of broader strategy against Russian energy. If the U.S. can disrupt the shadow fleet in Venezuela, the same tactics can be applied to Russian and Iranian oil shipments, global sanctions enforcement. Now, the international law, this blockade is completely illegal. Multiple violations of established international law. Experts are unanimous about this. Article 2 or 4 of the UN Charter prohibits the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity of states. The blockade violates this clearly. Article 42 of the UN Charter states only the UN Security Council can authorize blockades. The US has no authorization, no legal basis whatsoever. Peacetime blockades are considered use of force even before force is actually used against ships. The legal definition is clear: this is illegal. For a blockade to be legal, it must be impartial, applying to all vessels. But Trump's blockade specifically targets only sanctioned oil tankers. The blockade is not impartial. It is selective. It focuses on one type of vessel. Under international law, this makes it illegal from the start. The U.S. seizure of vessels in international waters without self-defense justification is illegal. The airstrikes killing 104 people are extrajudicial executions. The U.S. Senate, controlled by Republicans, has twice rejected resolutions that would limit Trump's authority to continue these operations. No oversight. A bipartisan war powers resolution is expected to be voted on requiring congressional authorization for hostilities with Venezuela, but passage is uncertain. So, what is the real story here? The U.S. government says this is about drugs and terrorism, but every fact points to a different conclusion. Venezuela has 303 billion barrels of oil, the largest reserves in the world. 68% goes to China. The U.S. wants to control this resource. The official drug trafficking justification does not hold up. Drug deaths fell 25%. Most cocaine comes through Mexico, not Venezuela. The numbers are false. The U.S. deployed the largest armada in South American history, killed 104 people without trial, seized vessels in international waters, declared total blockade. This is not drug interdiction. This is resource control. This is economic warfare against China. This is preparation for potential regime change in Venezuela. International law is being violated openly. Extrajudicial killings, illegal blockades, seizures without legal basis. The U.S. is operating outside international law. The connection to Russia and Iran makes this bigger. The Shadow Fleet serves all three sanctioned countries. Disrupting it hits all U.S. adversaries simultaneously. Trump designated Venezuela a foreign terrorist organization, claimed they stole American assets referring to disputes over Citgo and other companies' economic grievances. The timing matters. This is happening now because Trump is back in office. He imposed maximum pressure on Venezuela in his first term, now escalating further. Latin American countries are protesting. Colombia called for criminal charges against Trump. CELAC expressed deep concern over foreign intervention in the region. China is watching closely. 68% of Venezuelan oil goes there. If the U.S. can cut off Venezuela, they can threaten Chinese energy security. Oil prices rose after the blockade announcement. Markets understand this disrupts global supply. Current price above $56 per barrel and rising. For Venezuela, this is existential. Oil is 90% of export revenue, more than half of fiscal revenue. The blockade could collapse the economy completely. The Venezuelan government called Trump's blockade a grotesque threat, violation of international law, vowed to fight it at the United Nations and internationally. But Venezuela is isolated, sanctioned, militarily weak, surrounded by overwhelming U.S. force. Realistically, they have no ability to resist if the U.S. escalates further. The question is, how far will the U.S. go? Is this economic pressure or preparation for military intervention? The assets deployed suggest regime change is possible. If the goal is removing Maduro, the blockade is just the first phase. Economic strangulation to weaken the regime before potential military action. But regime change in Venezuela would be massively complicated. Oil infrastructure is degraded. Economy is collapsed. Millions of refugees already fled. Intervention would be costly. The risk of mission creep is real. What starts as blockade could escalate to airstrikes, then to limited intervention, then to occupation. Iraq and Libya parallels. For China, this is a test. If the U.S. can blockade a country and cut off oil supplies, Beijing's energy security is vulnerable, they may respond. China could increase support to Venezuela, provide more economic assistance, military equipment, deepen the alliance, push back against U.S. pressure economically. Russia faces the same calculation. If the U.S. successfully disrupts the shadow fleet in Venezuela, the same tactics will be used against Russian oil globally. This is not just about Venezuela, this is about establishing precedent. If blockades and force work here, the U.S. will use them elsewhere against adversaries. The broader pattern is clear: U.S. using military force to control energy resources and deny them to rivals. Economic warfare disguised as counterterrorism. So what is the verdict? The U.S. is strangling Venezuela with the largest military operation in South American history. The justification is false. This is not about drugs or terrorism. This is about 303 billion barrels of oil, cutting China's energy supplies, disrupting networks serving Russia and Iran. International law is being violated. 104 people killed without trial, blockades without UN authorization, seizures in international waters, illegal by any standard. The U.S. assembled overwhelming force, aircraft carriers, amphibious assault ships, dozens of warships, advanced aircraft, surveillance, electronic warfare, full-spectrum dominance. Venezuela is completely surrounded, exports are collapsing, economy is being strangled, the regime is under maximum pressure, collapse or capitulation is the goal. But the consequences could be severe: escalation risks, regional instability, precedent for using military force to control resources, China and Russia pushback. If you learned something about what is really happening at sea, hit that like button, share this with someone who believes the drug war story. And subscribe, because this channel explains the economic forces and geopolitical strategies that mainstream media ignores. See you in the next one.